Let's get this ready to begin. As you can see, we are literally loading into the game as we speak, so pretty much ready to go. Kick this off. We actually do have StarCraft after the downtime that we had to sit through again. Thank you for sitting through it, guys. I really do appreciate it. I know it's been a little bit frustrating waiting for. I mean, this was literally a 30-minute break we just had to go through, but we got through it. And we are here now. The games will resume. Thank you so much for sticking around, enjoying the games, enjoying the action with me. Excited to be able to bring you guys the games for sure. This one should be fantastic. Really believe this is one of the better matchups we could have gotten here in the semifinals. It was one that I really wanted to see. Apparently, INnoVation really stuck without a camera. He spawns bottom right. Dark spawns top left. Semifinals of this $15,000 tournament. We're talking about a prize money increase from, I believe, 1,500-ish to 3,000. I think 1.2k dollars right now into a $3,000 prize if you get into the finals. And of course, the chance then to play for even further money. Obviously, once you're in the finals, you can more than double up your prize money again. 7.5k up for grabs for first place in this tournament. As, yes, it means there's a lot to play for. Absolutely. No surprises, no shocks there, I don't think, for anybody. As INnoVation will open, expansion coming down to get us underway here early on. So expansion coming through. And no surprises there. Dark. So we've seen Dark a little bit early. He played a very awesome series against Dream. We unfortunately missed some of the big fights in Game 1 due to some issues with the clean feed. So hopefully no issues here in this TVZ this time around. Hopefully we get to see everything as we've seen Dark playing some more kind of Roach-focused gameplay. Roaches into Banes and then Lurkers later on, sometimes mixing in the mutas. Should make this a very interesting best-of-3 match, and it is best-of-3. I know a lot of people look at this and will be like, best-of-3, semi-finals, what? But that is the format. This event is just played out over the course of a... a single day, this playoff, so best-of-5 becomes pretty long at that point. As that Reaper just pokes around the front. Wow, the sound is completely out of sync. That's interesting. Huh. The sound is just completely out of sync. Holy crap. Okay, I'm gonna try and stop and start, guys, just in case it helps. Give me a moment. Yes, that did help. Perfect. Okay, well, it looks like we're back. Alright, sorry for the slight issue there, guys. Obviously, that was not ideal. But we are back in sync with the sound, so we got that fixed up, whatever issue that may have been. All good. And there's the Roach Roaring, and again, that's such an early Roach Roaring. What I do wonder is if you scout that, do you have to overreact to it? Because Dark never really gets aggressive with it, but then... yeah, I mean, it's all well and good not getting aggressive with it, but that doesn't mean that you can't get aggressive with it, and it's definitely something that then I think you've got to prepare for as a Terran, but do you prepare for it every time he then builds Roaches? Yeah, I quite like the 3cc Banshee play. I think that's actually just a really safe way to open against what Dark is doing a lot of the time. Even going to get Cloak as well. What's really good about the Banshees is that because you're going to get the Cloak up and you're going to have Banshees, it means you're actually going to keep the Banshees up for quite a long time too. And the Banshees become really good if this turns into even like a Roach Ravager Bane attack a bit later. If you keep those Banshees alive throughout this, then you actually have a really good time, I think, in this overall setup. So... yeah, I quite like seeing the Banshee playing. We've definitely saw it earlier with Dream as well. Multiple times Banshees came into fights that you maybe didn't expect them in, but then they actually kind of became the saving grace a little bit of the game. They helped a lot for sure. So we'll see what happens this time around. We do have Queens just moving out toward the front here in the early stages. And just the Roaches coming through to push the Hellions back. Of course, with the Banshees up, you don't have to be all too worried or anything about this or about what might be about to happen, because the reality is the Banshee covers you against pretty much all of these attacks. Yeah, they are, I mean, they cover you against all these attacks. There are scenarios still where you can obviously take a while to clean everything up that you need to, and so you can still lose SCVs. It's not like a go-to absolute 100% defense, but it definitely does put you in the right direction for the defense for sure. Which is obviously good. Just going to be seeing a fourth hatch down at the front, and the Overseer going to fly through into the main just to see what exactly else is going on. Banshees get turned around by those couple of queens. So the Banshees get turned away already. And Dark wants to go Infestation Pit very quickly, so probably wants to rush up toward the hive here, moving in toward that look into towards the not the lurker play, but it might be actually. Hydroden goes down. I was gonna say maybe Vipers initially, but it looks like you might actually just go Hydras and into lurkers very quickly as well. So okay, I mean that's where we seem to be going toward. I can get behind that. Don't mind it. Alien's at the front, picking away at a whole bunch of creep tumors, so putting some damage out on the left-hand side, clearing out a whole bunch of creep at the moment. A little bit more creep spread going down. Roach is still moving around the sides as well. And again, +1 missiles, +1 carapace, Roach speed all coming through. And there's our Lurker Den and Hive coming up in sync. So the whole idea is the Lurker Den and Hive come up in sync, then you can start the Lurker upgrades as the Hive is done, and they are what really allows those Lurkers to be very effective and, really successful a lot of the time. Banshee's still hanging around the top. Banshee's going to come through and some damage out here. Quite a few drones. These Banshees have had a great time. Oh, Melly got that queen as well. That was extremely close also towards the end here. It's going to be seeing our damage still coming out. 8 drones going down. This Hive going to be finishing up in just a few moments. We are going to be seeing Marines, tanks, starting to move out towards the upper left-hand side here. Now, Roach Ravager set up on the left here from Dark. A few Ravagers morphing in, so big push from INnoVation. Starting to move over. A couple of Vipers on the way in. Seismic Spines is coming up as well. Pushing down this rambling Roach Ravager. See, I feel like this is the part of the game where I feel like Dark is in so much trouble. First Lurkers on the way. They're not going to have upgrades either, but this sort of push from INnoVation feels extremely deadly. I mean, this is just what... I mean, obviously the Banshee damage helps a lot with this, but it feels like you just have no room for error as Dark, because if you take any amount of damage, this sort of hold right now is just so clutch just to be able to survive even. It's really difficult. But he is making it happen for now. The job is okay, and it is going to be INnoVation doing well. And he's actually going to jump into the main base. The Lurkers obviously will not be able to kind of match this, but then the Medivacs get taken out, Spores and the Parasitic Bomb. I think INnoVation still trades well here, but obviously now you're losing out on an army that you maybe wanted to do perhaps just a little bit extra with. We are going to be seeing INnoVation push back here. That drop into the main, well, honestly, just unsuccessful. And well, now we see the nice, like I say, unsuccessful in what he really wanted to achieve. I still think he traded okay with it. Just, I feel like he wanted so much more, in all honesty. So yes, VG just set up. Nidus on the way. The 5 Lurkers on the way through as well. +2 missiles, Carapace, Adaptive Talons, all on the way out as we speak. Next, the Zergling's being brought into play as well. I'm just going to be seeing 2-2 upgrades finishing up from INnoVation. Getting the 2-2 completed. Looks like Inno might launch another attack out over to the left-hand side of the map. It's looking to set that one up already. This is where the game gets much more difficult, though, and this is where you typically want to start getting, well, the Ghost Academy's on the way, so yes, getting ghosts up and getting an answer to this big old kind of, lurker setup. You want to have those ghosts, you want to have those snipes, those are very important here. They're going to be a big part of, well, they're going to be a big part of, surviving, really. It's just going to be seeing the a little bit of a drop play, trying to move around. You gotta try and keep this lurker army moving, and that's where INnoVation may be able to get rid of a 5th base and keep rid of a 5th base. Nidus sets up though. Oh my god. How do you fight this? Do you fight this? Ooh. What? What? Oh my god. Literally a Nidus and all the lurkers in the main. Game ends. You know, you don't fight that is the simple answer. You're right, guys. You just don't fight that. Felt as though he had good pressure setting up as well, but yeah, just nothing really matters if you let lurkers get into your main. And once lurkers got up, it just felt like INnoVation actually maybe didn't get much done at all. I can't believe he just got the Nidus just straight into the base like that. That's one hell of a way to lose a game, INnoVation. It really is. As we set up here, game number 2, Dark leads 1-0 in our first semi-final of the next 2020 winter event. Again, I thank you all for joining me so far today. Excited to keep bringing you the games as we have another semi-final and the grand finals after this as well. Everything played today. Why couldn't he just lift his buildings? Well, where are you going to put them? I mean, the point is then you lose so much production time that then you're going to be in trouble as well. I don't necessarily think you should GG in that exact moment, right? I think maybe you try and find a way, but I mean, you could lift, but that's still a horrible setup because there's actually not enough space for all your production elsewhere. And even then, like, what do? You just don't get your main base back unless you can force the lurkers to go home. Unless you have liberators or snipes or something, but he just wasn't quite set up there already, and obviously then you never get to really build anything. I don't know. I think that's like I say, it's just a very difficult position to fight out of. I know it sounds boring, but just don't let him do that is obviously somewhat of the solution. Deal with the Nidus before the Nidus gets, you know, fully set up. I mean, yeah, it can't be unbeatable because otherwise Zergs would just do this every single game, right? They would just build a Nidus in the Terran's base and the games would just end, and then, you know, if it was unbeatable, we would have a patch and we would, you know, it would be fixed. But until I see this happening more frequently, I'm not ready to call it actually unbeatable, but it's definitely a position you can stop yourself getting into as Inno. It's definitely one that you don't have to end up in, and that's obviously going to be a big step toward maybe helping yourself out of those positions. Just making sure you don't get into them in the first place. But I mean, again, INnoVation kind of lost his momentum as well, right? He had a really good setup. The Doom Drop then gave up a lot more momentum. Like, the Lurkers break momentum, but then you Doom Drop and you give up those units that just didn't really need to go down. And then you lose even more than what you already lost. And that means that you can't... I mean, he was still good, right? Like, he'd still set up. He was a 9 base 5. He was stopping Dark, getting up to a good base count. Just need to be making sure you got a bit more at home. And maybe because he lost those extra units, maybe that's why he's got so much on the map and less at home to defend something like a Nidus coming up. I mean, obviously, we can theorize and all the rest of it. In this game here, we are going to see another 3cc opener in these early stages. So 3cc opening to begin with for the moment. And, yeah, I mean, pretty much the same as what Inno had last game as well. And no surprises there. INnoVation typically does, if he finds something that works well, will typically do it again and again. We'll see if he wants to add on the Banshees this time. I mean, the Banshees really did a great job for him. They gave him the chance to make that initial push and to make it look so scary. You know, that was the reason that attack was looking so terrifying in the first place. If it wasn't for the Banshees, you know, Dark's in a much more comfortable position. The Lurkers are a bit faster and all the rest of it. And, you know, then we're already talking about a bit of a different game in the first place. But yeah, wouldn't be necessarily surprised to see the Banshees again then. Absolutely just a way to... Again, just because of how Dark likes to play, there's that 330 Rotron. Because he likes to play like that anyway... And because he likes to play like that anyway, it's kind of like, well... you've got to kind of, go and Banshee almost just gives you that coverage like I was talking about. You don't have to necessarily go cloak Banshees, mind you. INnoVation will. He'll do the exact same thing as he loses one Hellion to slow Lings and Queens. He's going to get the other into the main base, and he's going to work his way around the back. He gets in. The Rotoron's in the natural, so he doesn't actually see the Rotoron here, but yeah, you go in Banshees anyway, so there's not much you really change. But yeah, like I say, you don't have to go cloak. You could just play like a cloakless Banshee setup. INnoVation just moves his third CC out at 4:30 in the game. So he has absolutely zero fear. He absolutely believes he is completely fine to, he just believes he's completely fine to set up into this. Well, which I don't necessarily think he isn't, actually. Like, I don't necessarily think he isn't fine to just kind of go to the third, but it is a bit of a brave play. If he missed out on a bit of information, that can absolutely be something which could be a bit more problematic, right? So we get ourselves thoroughly into this one. Let me see where things are going to start getting interesting. It's going to be this first Banshee showing up now, but well, that's not going to be super exciting because there's already going to be a Overseer up and running, so not much for INnoVation to really get done there. So not exciting if you're looking for INnoVation to deal damage. Exciting if you're looking for Dark to defend. That's exactly what he manages to do so far. The Overseer getting pushed away pretty early as well, so not really much to be gained on that one either just yet. Banshee's going to move around to the top side again, really looking to keep that damage up. The more you can do with those, I think the better position you're just going to get yourself into at the end of the day. So INnoVation really looking for that. Plus one missiles on the way through. Again, this Roach style setting up, and we'll see exactly what that turns into eventually here as well, right? Because this can absolutely become something, a few different things from Dark, as you actually have some damage on the third at the same time. That picture-in-picture showing us the extra drones going down as these Banshees moved and distracted into the main base. So a good little 1-2 punch there. A much needed 1-2 punch, it felt like, for INnoVation, as just get a little bit of mindset back on track after that last game, I'm sure. And damage like this only helps him set up as that goes up to 5 bases and all the rest of it too. So he's definitely in a position right now where, again, slowing the Zerg down in any way is absolutely starting to become very important. Just moving down, starting to come through the center of the map as well, so they're starting to make their way across, and again, just at least kind of, defending the creep spread a little bit, not letting these drops completely control the game. INnoVation just builds a 4th base, so he's very happy to let this go on a little while as well. Isn't in a huge rush to end this game, sit on just 3 bases or anything along those lines at all. Not in the slightest, in fact, so he's feeling pretty okay about that, apparently. Yeah, obviously I don't think there's any reason for him not to be either, just so. Here comes the Roach Ravager attacking, though, as we're just going to be seeing. This is one of the scenarios where maybe sitting on 3 bases a bit longer might have been okay for him. Dark did just really commit through to this 1-1 timing this time around, so he really believes he's got something, some damage to be done here. Does get on top of the tanks very quickly, so the tanks fall, 21 SCVs die. However, INnoVation is starting to clean up a lot of the Roach Ravager. This is the problem with the Roach Ravager. If it doesn't do serious damage right now, it doesn't transition well to a later stage of the game. So you've got to really make sure you get good damage done with this. And I would say 21 SCVs is absolutely in that direction. Remember as well, this is a faster 4th base then, and so the SCV rebuild will happen a little bit more quickly as well, so that's something else to keep in mind. And yeah, INnoVation is only 8 workers behind, so he's not in a terrible spot after losing those workers. It's just you are slowed down to some extent, at least. And like I say, a kind of a necessary amount, really, if you're looking at what Dog set up for. That's big, though. Fourth base gets Corrosive Bile down. Well, that's something INnoVation maybe wasn't banking on, so Dog's able to get a big kill there. Well, now I am a little bit more worried, right? Because all of a sudden this goes from being a little bit more of a comfortable position to something which now maybe can prove to be a little bit more powerful for Dog. Maybe you get something a little bit extra out of this now. That's rough. I mean, that's just a loss that shouldn't really happen for Inno, so it just becomes that little bit, it just becomes way more difficult. Now rebuilding is more problematic. I mean, now Dark is just in a stronger position, right? So his transition through to the next stage is just going to be that much better because Inno is not powered up as much on economy. He is stuck on 3 bases. Here we go. I think Roach Ravager starts to attack in. Inno really can't afford to take as much damage here anymore. He's got 2-2 upgrades against the 1-1 Roach Ravager. Tank's getting Corrosive Bile down, opens up the space on this 3rd base. All of a sudden, you're already talking about a 3rd base that's lifted and not mining, so even more eco damage drop across the map from our Terran player. INnoVation is going to get into the natural, and he's going to do some serious damage. So he's going to force a back away, and yeah, he's doing well. The real question is, though, still, is it going to be enough? Drops elsewhere as well, so INnoVation just going to drop all over the map to try and bring himself back into this. 3 drones dead so far, and okay, that's obviously a good start to this all. I mean, 3 drones is not a lot. I expected that to be more. You know, I thought 3 drones was really like the beginning of this, but nope. Apparently 3 drones was about all it was going to be. I thought that was the beginning of something great. I really did, but yeah, like I say, apparently not quite the case at all here. Well, INnoVation going to try and chase down more Roach Ravagers to the top side. We've got a little bit of it coming in from the south side too. I mean, this drop is just going to get caught. You don't really have anywhere to go to in the end. You're Corrosive Bile from one side. You're kind of caught on the other. Now unloading up behind this mineral line. Try and get something a little bit extra underway. A couple of Biles and Medivacs have to dodge away to the sides here. And he gets 7 drones, so again, the continued damage is alright. It's just not really overall going to be enough. That's tough. INnoVation's in a tough spot indeed. I mean, he's got a 4th base up though, so he does at least have that going for him. He's built that up behind all of this, and he has stopped Dog from killing him. And do you think Dog Tommy was in a position to perhaps get a killing blow at some point? He is now even on upgrades again. There's a lot of Corrosive Biles available. He's going to get on top of this planetary position. Planetary's not done yet. If he can bile down the planetary and the SCVs, which is exactly what he'll do, this is just going to drop, and the 4th base is once again denied. Not sure you need to stay here. No picture-in-picture, but there is a drop on the top left side. But now INnoVation's moving those units back. I think those are empty medevacs at this point. And these Ravagers just keep on coming through. There's tanks that can be biled down very easily, very quickly. He is running into a lot of tank fire, though. Dark is losing a lot of units, and the tail end of this I don't think was actually that great for him. I think that became a bit of a mistake in the last few moments. A little bit too much aggression, a little bit too committed with very little gain. Wow, I mean, he just killed the 4th. The last thing he needed to do was to really run into this further tank attack. I mean, yeah, okay, his drone damage at home, he's been taking some hits and so on, but he did not need to run into that position. And INnoVation is perhaps now going to put himself in a driver's seat position. Can he do this? He's down on 3 bases, remember. The damage he's been doing so far is good, but he will need more if he's going to keep this up and running. He is continuing to move forward here from INnoVation. So a bit of attacking up to the top side of the map. Pulls back away as the Roach Ravager starts to come through. Drop on the left-hand side, going to come in. We do have our... I mean, these are the things that now INnoVation should be able to do very well with. Should be able to just get really good damage out of from here on out. You need to push through the center stone, clean up some creep. And you know what the big thing is? A main base float into a fourth location on the bottom side. The fact that you just get a fourth base up somewhere is amazing. He actually does have this base as well, so that's going to be able to become a planetary. So the bottom side of the map will be an orbital, but if he focuses his attacks from that direction, then this should be okay, right? If you focus attacks from this kind of direction and you take this along, and yeah, I think this is going to be alright, right? You just protect this position anyway, so it's going to be difficult. You don't necessarily need a planetary down here. Suddenly we're talking about a 5-base INnoVation in a way. Obviously, I mean, the main base is mined out, so that would be gone at this stage anyway. And Dark is just about trying to get his own 5th base up and running, so... yeah, this game absolutely turned around in that moment where INnoVation just defended the continued attack from Dark. Dark really just stepped too far forward, and he's brought INnoVation right back into a series that may very well have just ended had Dark stepped back and chilled out a little bit. Which is exciting, because we might get a Game 3 of Dark INnoVation. That's very fun, obviously. Don't think anyone's complaining when we get to watch some awesome Dark versus INnoVation games, right? So, get behind that. INnoVation just playing it slow right now. Dark is going to get maxed out. So, okay, it's not a done deal just yet. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Oh, no, INnoVation, save the tanks, medevac, something. Oh my goodness. He is up against lurkers, which I think is the one thing that really frequently pulls the, you know, pulls this matchup back into Zerg's favor. It can break Terran's momentum and all of that. So there is a chance this actually does just draw out, and maybe I really am just getting a little bit ahead of myself. Maybe we should just calm down a little bit, that this is not just a done deal for the moment. As Lurkers here starting to defend, and the Roach Ravager just melts though. So the Lurkers are good. The Roach Ravager support for the Lurkers not as good. INnoVation already on his way to go, so go. Oh no, guys, I see the Ghost Academy. Sorry, not the Ghost Academy. I see the Nidus Network on the way from Dark. Uh-oh! He's gonna go for the Nidus play. Bio on the left-hand side, Lurkers down, burrowed up and dealing a bit of damage. A couple extra Lurkers continue to move in, and I'm just going to be seeing these Lurkers fighting and pushing back a siege tank here. So that tank gets very low, just about survives. Extra tech labs coming up, couple tanks continue to build, another Ghost on the way in as well. So continue to set up into all of this as Marines, medevacs, and tanks obviously sit out defensively, but, well, we get 5 base versus 5 base, Lurkers versus all the bio stuff. I mean, this actually should turn into a pretty fun position. Again, I will stand by the fact that I actually felt that this was maybe quite close to being on the way to ending, but yeah, on both sides, like, it felt like Dark was in a hugely advantageous position. It felt like Inno was. Inno's not ended the game just yet, and he really did give Dark now time to get back into it, so maybe we get a little bit worried about that. Maybe that is cause for concern. Fire around the right side, cleaning out a little bit of creep spread. So creep is continuing to fall on the right. Just going to be seeing our Lurker, Roach, Ravager, Viper Force. And there's everything you need in here. I guess Banes are a nice addition as well. And we now see a Bane Nest on the way down. I don't think you need Banelings right away, but what's really nice about Banes is in higher Baneling counts, you can actually do really well with Banes just chasing down the Ghosts, right? Because Ghosts are not really a good answer to Banelings. Banelings in higher numbers do just shut down Ghosts, chase them away, and put that into better positions. Tanks are sieged up the right-hand side. The command center is going to go to the top corner. We do have a bit more bio through the bottom side here from INnoVation. Again, this game really slowed... I mean, INnoVation slowed this game down a lot. You know, he really sat back and said, right, you know, I'm going to take a step away from attacking all the time. Yeah, you kind of need to scan into it. And even if you believe a base is undefended, you've got to scan into it because we've got lurkers on the map, man. Like, otherwise this happens. I mean, obviously now, you know, a scan, you know, right away, and you would have had so many more units to continue this with. You wouldn't have had to pull back and waste time. This gives Dark time to move down here to defend as well. As more Marines fall, the rest of this from Dark comes out through the center. "14 Lings, 5 Banes, 5 Lurkers all on the way up. Adrenal Gland's about to complete. The Baneling Speed going to be finishing soon. And in the upper right-hand side, we've got that Planetary Forest. INnoVation is just so happy to just half the map with Dark right now. I'd love to see resources lost again, watching off a clean feed. I know I've said this a lot, but just in case you don't know, it's not like you can just click a button and bring the resources lost up here to see exactly how it's going. As we said, 20 minutes deep, we've got ghosts and all the rest of it, but you even got nukes on the way. Okay. We're really starting a party now, aren't we? We're really getting into it right now. Alright, well, a Ling and a couple of Banes connecting on this bottom side. Marauder will fall. And you see the parasitic bombs on every medevac, and well, they're actually just going to fly up through the spores anyway, so they are empty. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a bait that was or so, but a couple snipes. Lurkers go low, man. Some of these lurkers are like 1 HP. A few more snipes, and you're going to start really picking up the kills here. INnoVation has sensor towers everywhere as well, by the way. They've just kind of... He's almost made like a little pattern with them. It's like an arrow. He's like, this way to the heart of the Terran. Just like, if you want to attack into me, Doc, this is the direction I want you to attack in. Like, just with the rings of the sensor towers on the minimap. Kind of makes a rightward pointing arrow, right? So in theory, INnoVation should be trading more efficiently in this game. And so being split map like this is completely fine for INnoVation because... he should, when all is mined out, INnoVation should be in a better spot. Now, it's possible the Lurkers have changed that a little bit. You know, Lurkers do trade very efficiently themselves, so it's possible that that is partially the scenario here, and that maybe there is a little bit more efficiency from Dark, but I kind of doubt it, honestly. It doesn't feel like he's had so many good fights where like, oh my god, yeah, it feels like we would... I feel like I'd have a feeling if Dark had had more fights like that. I just don't feel like that's been the case. It's INnoVation. He's hard swung down to the bottom of the map, which maybe leaves some opportunity to the top. Now, he's got stacked defense, you know, some Sim City here, and he's going to blind cloud the missile turrets, which actually allows the other Vipers to get further forward. That's actually a really cute play. Blinding cloud the turrets to let the other Vipers get forward. One turret does get a Viper kill in the end, as Planetary just will not be repaired. Picture in picture, as you can see INnoVation breaking through Lurkers on the bottom left corner of the map to open some positions as well. INno's Ghosts here arrive a little bit too late, but now they're going to find some snipes, and they're going to get a couple Lurk kills as they try to retreat away. INnoVation in the picture-in-picture is going to lose Marines to Lurkers as well. He lines up a nuke as he's going to scan and, well, snipe down a bunch more Lurkers as well, force them further back. Kills off a Spore Crawler, and the nuke will land to hit just a couple of spines, but, you know, it does, again, clear out a little bit more static defense, and it forced the Lurkers back guaranteed, so there were positives to that. Ling's going to run in. This has just been a tank line that's been set up for a long time and being disintegrated by those Lings. Now some Lurkers showing up as well. INnoVation losing a lot there. Dark is the one with more money in the bank. A big fight like this into a rebuild could favor Dark. 19 Lurkers in production. What? Oh my goodness. Why is Dark so rich, guys? Why does Dark have so much money? Ay. All of these extra Lurkers finishing up. So Lurker, Ling, Bane on the far left side. Ghosts are going to spread out a little bit. Couple snipes taking down the Lurker there. That's going to be seeing the Lurker, Ling, Bane continuing through. A couple of Ghosts coming forward, sniping once again, so a bunch of snipes coming down. You're just going to be seeing a lot of Lurkers being picked away at. I mean, Lurkers getting into good positions, though, and once they're in good positions, that's where the damage will really rack up. In all of these SCVs, I love this. He didn't use the Banes because he knows these SCVs are naturally going to run to the right side to go to the nearest command center. Lurkers burrowing up, going to force this orbital to lift off as well. INnoVation making a play top side, so he's going to push in. Base for base is going to be the expected trade out for him here. And it looks as though he will get the top side base, but obviously he's making amazing progress. Nice abduct. Going to bring the ghosts in as well. So more ghosts getting brought into that lurker army. And INnoVation is just continuing. I mean, oh my god, these lurkers are like 2 or 3 shot in command centers. Still the attack of INnoVation on the top side, but remember, Dog is the one with money, so if you shut down the economy of INnoVation right now, that's got to be scary. Dog, what are you doing? You need to burrow that up a little sooner maybe, but INnoVation's not scanning. These lurkers, they're just doing so much damage. The tanks have already gone down. INnoVation's losing so much on his natural expansion. He's trying to control the ghosts on the top side as well, but the Banelings on the picture-in-picture, look at that! These ghosts are going to get chased down by Banelings. Looks as though they might just get away. Of course, these lurkers are continuing to cause absolute chaos as INnoVation has to go and deal with that across the map. By those ghosts, they are somewhat lucky to be alive. I mean, I say lucky, INnoVation played it correctly to pull away at the right times and to deal with it properly. Now we've got snipes lining up on all of those lurkers, and so many of these continue to drop. Okay, well, INnoVation at least pushes them back in the end, but boy, that lurker play on the bottom right side of the map was absolutely huge. We got the rest of this lurker, Lingbane Hydra setting up. Coming through here, gonna get up this ramp. Lurker's gonna burrow and tank some Aurora. Okay. There's a lot of Overseers as well. I love that they all just go into Overseer extra vision mode. Obviously, it provides masses of detection against these ghosts, and right now the ghosts getting their snipes cancelled, so not all of them really able to get damage done, and INnoVation has Zerg in the main. And, well, if you wanted to keep on producing units, that might be out of the question now, so... yeah, the Nidus goes up, and that means you can reinforce there as well. These lurkers are just buying so much time as everything, gets done in the main. I mean, Ghost Academy's dropping in the natural too. And INnoVation, I think, is going to have to give this one up to Doc, who will find the 2-0 to advance to the grand finals. What a ridiculous game here, though, on Lightshade. GG is called. Doc takes it to the finals. 2-0 for him after... I won't lie, I thought Doc had thrown this one. I thought INnoVation had it. Doc holds on, turns it around with the lurkers, and Doc just a little bit too good for INnoVation.